Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the Community Archaeologist here at the Sheffield Lakeland Landscape Partnership. And in this short video, I'm going to give you some ideas of some of the sources that you can use online to find out more about your history and archaeology, especially during this lockdown period. It's not an exhaustive list, but you will be able to get to all of these sites through your normal home computer and also just using the internet. First things first. It's worth knowing your National Grid reference for some of these resources. You can find this easily on the National Grid Finder website. You use the map, you can either navigate to the area that you're interested in or use the postcode prompt on the right. Then click on the location on the map and you will be given the information of the National Grid reference along with the nearest postcode and address. This is a very handy tool for other applications as well. Now we have our grid references and postcodes, we can start to look in more detail at the historical sites close by. The local Archaeological Service, also known as the South Yorkshire Archaeological Service here in Sheffield, holds a number of records of sites and monuments and other archaeological data. Some of this is held in hard copy at their offices, but they also have a great deal of it online through the Heritage Gateway. You can do a quick search, but clicking on the more detailed search is a better way of getting results. This page will bring up a map page, and you can scroll to the area you want to look at by using this, or enter the name of the box above the map. At the bottom you can also search by grid reference. If you click on the drop-down menu which says Search Within, you can set how big or small you want your search area to be when it's centred on the point that you're interested in. This ranges from 100 metres to 10 kilometres. However, searching over about a kilometre may bring you too many results and they will be very difficult to work with. Here I have clicked on the map approximately on Lower Bradfield with a search area of 500 metres. You can see the area covered by the purple box. Change the search area size to see this increase or decrease. And when you're ready, click Search in the bottom right corner of the map. This will then bring you to the results page, which will detail all the databases that have information about the area you searched. Clicking on the name will allow another menu to appear, which will then show you the results and prompt you to see all the results. Clicking on this will take you through to the list of results, which again is more detailed. Clicking on each name here will also bring up detail about that particular entry. You can register for free at the Heritage Gateway and then you can save your searches, which will help you in future to go back. For sites that are protected by law, schedule monuments and listed buildings, you can always use Magic Map from DEFRA. If you zoom in on the area that you're interested in on the map first of all, then use the left-hand menus to find the designations section. Clicking on the plus sign here will open another menu. Then click on the tick box for the specific designation that you want. Here I've clicked on the Historic Statutory box. This has added all the scheduled monuments and listing buildings to this map. The listed buildings are noted in red boxes while the scheduled monuments are marked in orange, and they show their boundaries when you zoom in. To get more information, click on the Identify button, then click on the site on the map to bring up information box about that particular site. The hyperlink will take you through to the Historic England listing entry for that monument or building, which should have more information presented on this magic map. And that then brings us on to our next website, the Historic England list. Here you can search the list of buildings and scheduled monuments that are protected by law. If you know the name, you can enter it as a search term or a search on the map using a postcode. This will bring up a map showing all the list entries in the immediate area. You can zoom out to see more. Click on the icon on the map to bring up the name of the monument or the building, then click on the View List entry for more information. This is a similar way of searching as a Magic Map, but Magic Map will also allow you to see natural habitats and various other overlays. There are pros and cons of both websites, and it's really up to you to decide which is best for you to use. Let's have a look at map resources. Maps are important as they can show you changes over time in field systems and buildings, for example. Also, some may mark out historic and archaeological monuments on them, and they show if a place has changed its name over time. Detailed mapping only came into being really in the mid-19th century when the Ordnance Survey maps were first produced, but these can still tell us a lot about the area that you're interested in. Our first website is oldmaps.co.uk. This is a pay-for service if you want to download the maps, but you can look at them for free by searching by postcode or grid reference or name. Without paying, you are only allowed to zoom in so far with old maps, but they do have a good range of Ordnance Survey maps. A free resource is the National Library of Scotland. Although they have a lot of maps covering historic periods in Scotland, they also have the full UK covered by Historic Ordnance Survey maps. Click on the Find by Place link to bring up the map search. You can search by name or grid reference, or by zooming into the map to the area you want to explore. On the Select a Category menu, leave it set on OS 6-inch 1840s to 1960s series. Then click on the map to display the maps that cover that area. These are shown on the right of the screen. The blue box indicates the individual maps, and you can choose one from the right-hand menu to look at it in more detail by clicking on it. This will open the map and you can zoom in quite close to see even more detail. As I said, this covers maps from the mid-19th century onwards, but there can still be a fascinating insight into the changes over time of an area. Photographs are also an important source for tracking changes of an area or individual monuments and buildings. Sheffield has its own dedicated photographic resource called Picture Sheffield. Here you can search by name, place or date, and you can make this as specific as you like or as broad as you like. Obviously, photos only go back as far as the invention of the camera, but it's still an important local resource for local history. Also, the Britain from the Air website has many aerial photographs, many of which were taken by the RAF in the 1940s, and these can show archaeological features on areas that have subsequently been built over. Unfortunately for this video, the SLLP area is not really well covered by this site, but it is worthwhile knowing about if you are looking outside the SLLP area. Similar to aerial photography is LiDAR. This creates a map of terrain by bouncing lasers off the surface of the Earth and measuring the changes in height. From an archaeological point of view, this is an excellent resource as it can show earthworks and other archaeological remains quite clearly. You can download datasets of the LiDAR for free at the Environmental Agency website. However, you will need specialised GIS software to view it, and explaining that would be a video in itself. An easier way of viewing the free data is at houseprices.io website, which has a composite map of the UK's LiDAR data. You can click on the map to bring up a search box, which you can then use to search the map by grid reference or postcode or name to find the area you're looking for. Unfortunately, the main area of the SLLP is not covered by the data, but the edges are. One final site to look at is the Archaeological Data Service website. This is a depository of archaeological fieldwork records that have been conducted over the last few decades. Here you can search for archaeological reports that have been written and deposited. However, a word of warning. Not every report has been uploaded to the site, and searching is very much dependent on the uploader entering the correct metadata, which may hinder your research. But from the ADS, you may be able to find out where archaeological excavations and investigations have already taken place, which in turn may give dating evidence for the finds and results of that work. This video isn't an exhaustive list of all the resources that are out there, but it should be able to give you a few ideas as to where to look for some basic research. If you have found it interesting, and if you have found some interesting stuff while doing your research, please let us know in the comments below.